Hey there, Helena here. So today I want to share something a little bit different with you. I really feel like there has been the emergence of a new type, a new breed of horsewoman that I am calling the Renegade Horsewoman. And so I wanted to share with you 3 signs that you are a renegade horsewoman, aka a sacred rebel horsewoman. Okay? And so the first sign, and I've got my notes here, the first sign that you are a renegade horsewoman is that, plain and simple, in all areas of your life, so it's just natural that it would include with your horse, you've always been a sacred rebel. You have never resonated with the status quo, the traditional ways of doing things. Chances are you are that black sheep, that deep feeler, that dark horse, that sensitive soul, that empathic soul. And so the quote unquote normal or rest of the world, the matrix, is just really somewhere that you have never felt like you fit in. You almost feel like you don't belong, and therefore you are deeply connected not only to horses, but animals, nature, and Mother Earth, because you get and on a visceral level feel that sacred connection with these sentient beings and Mother Nature and the wisdom and the gifts and the medicine they hold for us. And that is something that is just like your true nature. And it may have been also your sanctuary. Perhaps growing up as a child, like I know for me, I always felt more comfortable with animals than I did most humans, and I grew up in the Bronx. And so, the squirrels and the pigeons and the stray, cat, whatever, like I was always drawn to animals and had a level of uncomfortability, I don't know if that's a word, or distrust around most humans that I knew or met. We won't get into those reasons, but suffice it to say, there was a lot of, what is the word, chronic stress, trauma, survival mode, like that kind of thing going on in my upbringing. And I know my parents did the best they could, and it was a gift because it helped me really connect with the animals. So that is the first sign, which is that you are really a sacred rebel. And maybe even, I'll throw this out there, maybe you even resonate with being a starseed or an alien, or, like this planet, like you just don't get. Like you look out in the world, which I do periodically, I try not to. You look out at what's going on in the world out there, and it is like the freaking Wild West times 100, right? And you just don't get it. Like you do not get how humans can actually behave that way. You don't get violence and death and poverty and war and cruelty. Like you just don't get it. And so if that is you, then you're in the right place, and that all goes with the first sign that you are a renegade horsewoman. Okay, the second sign that you are a renegade horsewoman is that you do not resonate, and it may have been a journey, I know it was for me, you don't resonate with the traditional training approaches, even like the tack, the bit and the spurs and the whips and all the things, right? And I want to be clear here, there's no judgment. Wherever you're at on the journey is fine. And what I know for me over the years, it has become like less is more, like for me, And I'm trying to think when I stopped even using bits, like, oh God, it's been a few decades. It's been at least a couple of decades. I don't even remember. But yeah, it's been at least a couple of decades. And for me, when I discovered those options, they just, like my heart just softened and relaxed, and it was like, oh yes, that feels so right, and there is a better way. Because while the way I learned and the trainers that I worked with and all of that with my upbringing, and I got into horses very late in life, in my teens, and well, I guess that's not that late in life, but anyway, I wasn't born, around them or grow up with them. But anyway, what I'm saying is that over time, over the years, for me, using the bits, using like force, or any kind of domination or control just didn't resonate with me. I can remember when I started my vet practice and, going to different farms and experiencing, like when a horse was maybe not, cooperating or willing, and then pulling out twitches and, like getting really forceful to control and hold them down and submit them and all of these things. And again, I'm not saying there isn't a time and a place, and there, everything is relative, and I do believe that it's not black and white. However, for the most part, I want to say I didn't resonate with it. Like I hated, when those approaches were used. Like it just felt so wrong in me because I had experienced physical trauma, abuse, etc. And so this piece really for me is one of the deeper reasons I truly feel that so many women are actually drawn to horses, because we share this vibrational resonance. And this is for another conversation another day, but I just feel called to mention that because horses and women have had their freedoms, their powers, their voices, their choices, their spirits broken, right? By the patriarchy, by the traditional, again, approaches and hierarchy and all of that, that I feel that is one of the reasons that women and horses just have this vibrational resonance, this sacred bond, and are drawn to each other to help each other heal that. And that's why I think so many women are drawn to horses. And if you are a renegade horsewoman, the new breed of horsewoman that I feel is emerging, then chances are there's a part of you that resonates with that too, that like that old paradigm, the old patriarchal paradigm is outdated, it needs to go. And again, that is in all of life, right? Like the rest of life, as well as with our approach with horse, okay? And so again, it is an evolution, it's a process, and we are a work in progress. So anyway, so that is the second one. Really, at the end of the day, with regards to this piece, you know that there is a better way. You know that that is not the answer to whatever, situation you might be dealing with your horse. Like you just know, and maybe you have already discovered that there is and there are better ways than the domination, the control, the force, the tack, the bits, like the things to where we, instead of increasing the dominance and trying to control, rather, can we create trust? Can we prioritize the relationship? And that leads me to the third sign that you are a renegade horsewoman, is because in your heart and your soul, that is more important to you. The relationship, the connection, the partnership, you prioritize that over any type of performance agenda, over any type of, wanting to control, or have a specific riding, discipline. Like, again, and I'm not saying that we can't enjoy, a particular discipline or performance, whether it's showing or trail riding or whatever. I'm not saying that those are wrong, okay? Please hear me out. That's not what I'm saying. But in your heart, the connection and that relationship is more important and more sacred than any external agenda that you might have, that we might have with our horses. And of course, this is like all of this, again, I don't believe it's black and white, and safety, I believe, for both horse and human always should be like the number one thing. And of course, some people might argue if you're around horses, then, that's kind of like oxymoron. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this new breed of horsewomen, the Renegade horsewoman, that I believe is emerging because of where we are in the evolution of the planet and all of the changes that the fire horse is burning down, the patriarchy, burning down all the systems and structures that are no longer serving us. And now we, as the Renegade horsewomen, the sacred rebel horsewomen, we get to build a new paradigm. We get to do things in a new way that really, again, puts the bond, the connection, the wisdom of horses, and for that matter, women first. So, if we look at traditional horsemanship or horse training, that was in the past, as I, understand or believe, was more male dominated, right? In war and all the things, right? And so I believe that the women who are emerging as this new breed of horsewoman are bringing and can bring another way that is, again, based on the foundation of the relationship of creating mutual love, trust, and respect, cultivating the partnership, the connection, the bond, like building that bond, taking the time, not having, again, like an agenda where, you have to hit that trail or do this race within so many days. This is where I think we can lose sight of these incredible sentient beings who, for me, it is a gift when they carry us on their backs. And so the consensual riding also is another element in terms of the partnership and the relationship, and giving the horse the freedom to say no, right? And therefore the freedom and the choice to say yes. And when they do, right, like what a gift, what a blessing, what a precious, precious, blessing. And so for me, this is the new breed of horsewoman, the Renegade horsewoman who is emerging, where perhaps even you may have horses and you're not even riding, like you simply want to be in their medicine and their magic, and that is like the gift, right? And the same with women. I believe that we're in a place now that with the collective feminine rising, the more we as women step into our value and our presence and our beingness, really being a gift to the world, to the planet, to our loved ones, to our clients, to our community, right? That gets to be valued over the doing, right? Like, we don't need to be a beast of burden anymore and carry what is no longer ours to carry. And I do believe that it should be the same with the horses. And so again, I know this conversation may not resonate with everyone, and I know there was a time on my journey that the thought of like giving up riding was like, I just couldn't even. And I haven't given up riding. It's just, for me, like this whole different approach in terms of, again, the consensual element and the partnership and prioritizing all of that. And the other stuff would be icing on the cake, like if and when it feels aligned. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So let me know how this lands for you. If you resonate with being a renegade horsewoman, put renegade down below. And a quick recap is: 1, you at your heart have always been a sacred rebel, a deep feeler, a dark horse, a black sheep. 2, so, you know, you've already got that foundation going. And then 2, the traditional approaches with training and tack and all of those things don't resonate with you. Maybe you're on the journey and, you know, you're realizing maybe the old ways you don't feel aligned anymore, and you've been like exploring bitless or whatever. Wherever you're at, again, there's no judgment. We're all on the journey. But for me, it is that expansion in consciousness and awareness of honoring the freedom and the voice and the choice of the horse in the partnership, as you know, well, and again, also leaning into our leadership edge around what we are embodying and radiating when we are with them. And then finally, the fact that you care more deeply about the connection and relationship than you do any specific riding agenda, and that comes first. And you know, again, when and if that happens, it's icing on the cake. And so, my love, those are the 3 signs that you are a renegade horsewoman. Let me know if that's you down below. And I cannot wait to hear. And just to let you know, I do have something brewing in the background around this whole renegade horsewoman, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for stopping by. If you received value, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, ciao for now, namaste.